Hi, this is Sammie Smiles, and I'm your host, Sammie Vance. This podcast is sure to leave you inspired and with a smile. Now let's get right into it. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the 6th episode of Sammie Smiles. I'm your host, Sammie Vance, and today I'm excited to be talking to Hana Mangat. So Hana is the co-founder of Sikh Kid and an intern for Channel Kindness, which is part of Lady Gaga's Born This Way Foundation. So thank you so much for being here. I'm really excited to be talking to you.
Thank you so much for having me, Sammie. I'm so excited to be here. I'm such a fan of Sammie Smiles and all of the work that you do. And I'm really excited to represent Team Born This Way Foundation and talk about some of the work I've done with Sikh Kid and other organizations.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I'm excited to be talking, as I said before. So to start off, Born This Way Foundation is co-founded and led by Lady Gaga and her mother. It supports the mental health of young people and works with them to build kinder and a braver world. I think that it's really important and needed today. And I love that Channel Kindness is a platform that stems off of that. And I think that's just really cool because, like I said, it's really needed, especially in today's day and age. The name itself really makes me happy. And I think that it's amazing. So my mission has been to spread kindness through different ways, from my buddy bench and friendships to Sammie Smiles and just sending smiles, and also my podcast inspiring other people to make a difference. And I love spreading kindness, and it's so much fun. It brings joy to me. So what is it like to work for Channel Kindness and to be a part of telling so many kindness stories?
Right. That's such a good question. I also love kindness. I think for me, so I am currently 22 years old in my last semester of college. And I first encountered Channel Kindness when I was 17 years old. I met Maya Smith, who is the executive director of Born This Way Foundation and a good friend of mine, at an event where I was speaking about bullying and resilience and just lessons I had learned from my experiences in middle and high school. And Maya approached me about a program called Channel Kindness that at the time Born This Way Foundation was first piloting. And Maya invited me to apply to become a Channel Kindness reporter, which was, in the first ever pilot program of Channel Kindness, there was this incredible cohort of young people that I had the privilege to be a part of, where we were writing on stories of kindness that we saw in the world. And we had this really incredible support from two friends of mine now, Shadil and Aisha, who were helping us learn how to translate all of the wonderful acts of kindness that we were seeing in the world into stories. So whether we wanted to have written stories, videos, podcasts like this one. And so for about a year, I got to report on the stories of kindness that I saw in the world. And a little bit later, a couple years later, one of our co-founder, Lady Gaga, and our team at Born This Way Foundation decided to publish some of the stories that we had been collecting on Channel Kindness for the last few years into a book. And so Lady Gaga chose some of her favorite stories, and she talked about why kindness was so important to her and responded to some of the stories in this book called Channel Kindness, which we published in September of 2020. And it became a New York Times bestseller. It's been translated to so many different languages, French, Spanish, and read really around the world. And so after I became a Channel Kindness author in the book, I also joined Born This Way Foundation as an intern to work on Channel Kindness from the back end. And I think that I've truly had such a wonderful time. I think as a Channel Kindness reporter and as a Channel Kindness writer, I really valued being able to look for kindness in the world. I think writing for Channel Kindness trained me to think about kindness in smaller ways that I saw every day, and to recognize it. And I think on the back end now, when I have the privilege of editing people's stories, responding to them, helping them figure out how to tell the story they want to tell, I feel like I'm just so constantly inspired by the goodness in the world and in people. And for instance, when we came across your story and thinking about the way that you had such a passion for making sure that people felt loved and that they didn't feel lonely with your buddy benches, I think that it's so refreshing. It's such a wonderful job to have, because I think so often social media often reminds us of all the bad things that are going on in the world. And I think through Channel Kindness, I'm constantly able to think about resilience, community, and kindness.
I love that so much. And I think when I grow up, I definitely want a job that has to do with kindness and stuff like that. Something that will impact the world in a positive way. And I think what you're doing is definitely that as well. Um, so yeah. Um, so when I was younger, I used to be really shy, and a lot of people don't know that, but like I could still be shy at times as well. But through my Buddy Bench project, I've learned to like overcome that, and I've spoken in front of many groups and a bunch of people, and I've become less nervous when doing so. So I feel like I've come a long way from when I used to be really shy. And I read that you spoke at the Obama White House at one time, which seems amazing. So what was that experience like, and why were you there?
Oh wow, thank you. That's such a nice question. So funny enough, the story I was just telling where I met Maya when I was talking about bullying, I met her at the White House when Obama was president. I was invited to be a student representative in various capacities when the Obama administration was studying the impact that bullying was having on particular student groups. So I grew up surrounded by the Sikh faith. And if you're not familiar, Sikhism is the fifth largest religion in the world. It's a monotheistic faith, which means we believe in one God. And it originally comes from India, from the region of Punjab. And a lot of Sikhs, because of our religious identity, wear turbans. They tie turbans and they have long beards. And in the United States, for young Sikh students, especially if they're in an area that perhaps doesn't have a lot of other Sikh members in their like school and stuff, they can experience a lot of bullying and discrimination and harassment. And so when I was 12, I kind of started to learn about hatred and white supremacy for the first time after a Sikh house of worship in Wisconsin was attacked by a white supremacist gunman. And he shot 6 people who died while they were worshiping. And for me, I grew up with a really wonderful, vibrant religious community. And going to our houses of worship, which are called gurdwaras, was always a really safe space for me. But once I discovered that somebody with such hateful intentions was able to, disrupt that safe space, I felt very moved and upset by that. And so I started to organize with some of my friends, and we started to firstly educate others about what Sikhism is, who the people who were tying turbans and had the long beards were. But then also doing more work around bullying and discrimination and talking about how even if perhaps you don't know why someone ties a turban, that, that's still not an excuse to be unkind to them. And the work that I did there, we focused on our school. I'm from Maryland. And so from our school district's social studies curriculum, we started there. We were like, let's add Sikhism to the curriculum so that when our students are learning about other religions, they learn about us as well. And then from there, we were like, let's train teachers so they feel comfortable teaching this information. And so we can talk about issues like discrimination. And so we founded, with our organization, Sikh Kid to Kid, we founded a teacher training program where students were training teachers to talk about our experiences in schools. And it was, our program became certified by the Maryland Board of Education. And so teachers were receiving credits that were advancing their salaries while they were being trained by us and visiting houses of worship that they hadn't been to before. So basically, I was working on all of this stuff, and I was fortunate enough for the Obama administration to take note of the work that we were doing. And I was invited to these spaces where I was, sometimes the only kid there. Sometimes I was the only Sikh woman there. Sometimes I was the only person of color there. But I just felt like I had always been so validated in my voice and felt driven that I cared about what the work that I was doing. And so I knew I had something to say. So I won't say I didn't get nervous. I would definitely get nervous right before I had to speak. But I think that I was privileged to always have someone I loved in the audience who was nodding and that kindness helped me be my full self, share my voice with the world. And then the more I did it, the easier it got. But yeah, so that is why I was at the White House.
That's amazing. That and what you're doing is just so amazing, and that like it's really inspiring and uplifting. And I
Thank,
love that so much. Yeah.
thank you.
So a big congratulations on everything you've done and are doing. I think it's amazing. Um, so yeah, being in middle school, I just wanted to say sometimes it can be rough, sometimes there's happy moments. So there's a lot of like ups and downs in middle school and just like all times of life, you know? Um, and I know I'm Born This Way and Channel Kindness focus on not only spreading kindness, but also some mental health. So there's a lot of great resources and websites out there, and they help to encourage and help other people who are maybe dealing with some mental stuff, mental health
Mhm.
issues. Yeah. So, what are some things that you find helpful when you are maybe not feeling the best or feeling down?
Yeah, that is such a good question. I think for me, my support system is one of the greatest sources of kindness and encouragement that I have. And I mean, my friends. I think oftentimes just being able to share what you're feeling and have somebody else validate it and just tell you that you're not alone can be so powerful. And so sharing my feelings with my friends and with my family is really powerful for me. I also think that I've learned that I really need quality time with myself sometimes. And for me, what that looks like is exercising, working out, going on a walk, cooking for myself, painting my nails, like just a moment where I feel like I'm really able to take care of myself. I think that has been really helpful. And I think Born This Way Foundation also has built so many incredible tools that help you take care of yourself and the people that you love. I think one really good example that we're so excited about is the Be There certificate, which is a free, self-paced, interactive online mental health course, and it helps young people and advocates learn, how to provide mental health support to their peers. We created it with Jack.org and Born This Way Foundation, and it is something that is so remarkable because it's available in English, French, Spanish. And I think that something that's underrated is it can be really hard to be there for your friends sometimes, right? You don't always know what to say or what to do. And so I think that this certificate is just going to be such an incredible resource, and it's so accessible, it's free, it's online. And so yeah, that's just something that I'm also really excited about, because I think that sometimes it's hard to figure out what to do and how to be there for someone, and the fact that we're able to provide that resource now is something I'm really proud of.
I love that so much, and I think that it'll definitely help so many people because I think that what you just said was really amazing, and I think so many people can relate to that. Sometimes you just don't know what to say,
Yeah.
and yeah, I love that so much. Um, so on a little bit of a different note, you were talking about your channel, the Channel Kindness book, where you featured 50 different kindness stories, and I personally really enjoy writing, and I think it's a way that I can express my feelings and emotions. And I'm currently in creative writing class and just published my first book. So I think that's amazing. And I know, like I said, you were working with Channel Kindness, and that has to do with Lady Gaga's organization, Born This Way. So what's it like working with Lady Gaga on the book and everything?
Yeah. Well, first of all, congratulations on publishing your first book. That's really wonderful. What's it
Thank
called?
you. It's called Inspire the World, A Kid's Journey to Making a Difference.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's beautiful. Okay, I'll have to get myself a copy.
Thank you.
Um, I think this is always the fun question to answer. Lady Gaga is wonderful. I think that our work at the foundation is very much driven by Lady Gaga's vision and her kindness. And I think that that is something that I've come to realize the longer that I've been at the foundation. For instance, the Be There certificate. The day that the Be There certificate launched, we had a big team meeting, like our usual team meeting that we always have. And Lady Gaga, who is an international pop sensation, who has a tour coming up, multiple movies, and she's a busy woman. She took the time out of her day to join our meeting to congratulate us on the resource that we made, on telling us to celebrate our work, on telling us how much it meant to her, and truly just taking a moment of kindness to share with us. You know, she was like, I hope you are celebrating. I hope you're resting. She was telling us how grateful she was for the work of the foundation. And I think for someone of her talent and fame, and you know, she's a superstar, for her to really take the time to talk about how valuable this work is not only so motivating, but it's also so deeply personal. And I think that that is one of the best parts about working at the foundation, you know, is that it is as remarkable as it is largely because of her kindness. And I think that's one of the big things in Channel Kindness in the book. One of the stories that I wrote in the book is about when my parents saved somebody's life with the assistance of a 9-year-old kid that was on our flight. They happened to be in the airport, and we saw somebody that had passed out, and my parents were able to help this person, as well as this 9-year-old, you know, supported them in providing medical care to this person. And I write this whole story, and in the book, Lady Gaga responds, and she's like, Hannah, your mom is awesome. Like, and she's just like having this dialogue, and it's like, this is Lady Gaga recognizing how important it is that my mom took the time to be kind to someone. And I think that the personal patient, like the personal time that Lady Gaga takes to engage with Channel Kindness, with stories of kindness, with the work of Born This Way Foundation, is such a testament to how much she believes in kindness as a transformational force, how much she believes in the work that we're doing. So all in all, I would say that her vision really guides the work of the foundation, alongside our president and her co-founder, Cynthia Germanata, who also happens to be her mom. They truly lead by example, and they are involved with every step of the work.
I love that. And I think that's just really amazing and inspiring to hear. And I love the little acts of kindness. And I think that it's really important that they go appreciated. And I think that's just amazing. So on to the next question, just to make sure, you live in New York City, right?
I do, yes.
Yeah, so I saw that you lived in New York City, you know, just making sure. And I think that that's really awesome. I want to go to New York City again. A few years ago, I got the chance to go there a few times, once to be on the Today Show, and I got to walk around the city, and I even got to see a Broadway show, which of course back then when I was in third grade, I didn't realize the appreciation or the amazingness of Broadway, because like right now I would have so much more of an appreciation for it than I did back then, because I love Broadway so much. I was recently introduced to Hamilton a few years ago, thanks to Disney Plus, and I just like love musicals and plays, and I have an obsession with them. So, what are your favorite things to do in New York City?
Oh, I love that question. I love New York City, one of my favorite places in the world. You should definitely come back and let me know when you come back. Oh, I don't even know where to start. Okay, I think my favorite thing about New York City is that it feels like the experiences that you can have are endless. You can literally do anything and everything all the time, it feels like. One of my favorite parts of New York City is the food. Every type of food from every part of the world. And every year New York City has a restaurant week. And so that's when restaurants will have a special menu, and often it'll be like really fancy restaurants. Sometimes it'll be a hole in the wall place, where they curate this menu for you, and you pay like a fixed price. You go in and you get like a 3 or 4 course meal, and it is just so wonderful. And that's like the like special part of the food. But even on a day-to-day basis, I think getting to try food from every part of the world and having it available to me at my fingertips is such a privilege and so good. I love it. It makes my tummy very happy. I love the art scene in New York. I love being able to go to museums. I'm a student at Columbia, and one of the big privileges of that is we get a lot of free museum access. I've seen such incredible exhibits, like getting to see Van Gogh or like Andy Warhol. It's just beautiful. I'm also a dancer. I dance on one of my college dance teams, and New York City is one of my favorite places to dance in. Like whether that's just casual on a, you know, getting to go out with a night with friends or getting to hear jazz performers live. I just feel like this city is so lively. Broadway is another. I've been so lucky to see. I've seen To Kill a Mockingbird. I've seen Dear Evan Hansen, and I've also seen The Book of Mormon. All of which were just beautiful. I think what I love is seeing people do things that they love. And so whether that's a chef telling me about his favorite dish from back home, a Broadway performer putting her whole heart and soul into her performance, or a performer in the subway with an incredible voice. I just think that New York City is a city full of passion. And so, yeah, those are some of my favorite things to do. And I've also been so lucky to go to college in New York City, which is its own experience. So sometimes my favorite thing to do is just like sit on the lawns or go to Central Park with my friends. Like that is also one of my favorite things to do in the city.
I love that so much, and I definitely want to go back there.
Yeah,
I think that'd be so awesome. Yeah. So before we get into rapid fire round, is there anything else you want to say?
I think that I would just encourage all of your listeners to visit the Be There certificate, to take the self-trained module. It is something that is so accessible. They can go to betherecertificate.org. It takes about 90 minutes total. You can do it on your own time, and you can really learn how to be there for the people that you love and to support the people you love.
I love that. So everyone make sure to go check that out, and I encourage you to fill that out and do that as well. So if you're ready for rapid fire round, then I am.
Yeah.
All right. So I'll just ask you a few questions and you can answer the first thing that comes to mind.
Perfect.
First one. Favorite food?
Korean barbecue.
Favorite color?
Purple.
Favorite place to travel?
New York City.
Favorite random act of kindness?
Getting flowers.
I love that. Favorite animal?
Dog.
If you could have lunch with anyone in the world, dead or alive, who would it be?
Beyonce.
Yes. Would you rather be able to speak to animals or speak all languages?
Speak to animals. I want to know what my dogs have to say.
Yeah. What's your favorite quote?
Life's not about waiting for the storm to pass, but learning to dance in the rain.
I love that. So where can people find you or Channel Kindness on social media?
Yeah, so our Instagram and Twitter are at Channel Kindness. My Instagram is just my first and last name at Hana Mangat. And Born This Way Foundation's Instagram is at BTWF Foundation. And yeah, we would follow us, keep up with us. If you're interested in submitting a story to Channel Kindness, you can do that at channelkindness.org. And we welcome all storytellers who want to share their stories of kindness in the world.
Yeah, so make sure to follow them in their amazing journey. And for the last question to ask all my guests, what is something that makes you smile?
Something that makes me smile is being able to get up every day and have a platform like Channel Kindness. And I'm not even just saying this because it's my job, where I get to just read about all of the inspiring things that people are doing in the world. It is truly something that puts a smile on my face every day, and I'm so grateful for it.
I love that so much. That would definitely make me smile as well. So thank you so much for being on my podcast. I really enjoyed learning about everything and having this conversation with you. I look forward to writing something for Channel Kindness soon. And yeah, I'm just so thankful to have been able to talk to you today. So thank you for being on here.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So all the listeners, remember that you don't just have to be an adult to make a difference. You could be a kid too. Follow Hana and everything she's doing. And I hope this made you smile. Bye.